Alright guys, the Worktall safety boot, or in this case the fossilised Worktall safety boot, product review. Good bit of kit. Do they look funny? Yeah. Do you look like Bill and Ben the flower pot men when you're wearing them on site, plastering ceilings? Yeah. You look a bit of a wally. But they do the job. If you're 6 foot tall like me, or 5'11" like Matt, the standard stilts are too big, so you sort of get a creek neck, and you're not quite tall enough to trowel up on your tiptoes. So what we used to do is stick a bit of, one of the lads mentioned, strapping some 100mm insulation to your feet and walking around like a loony bin troweling up off that, which is it's not ideal, but that does work as well. These will do the job for you. Worktall safety boots. So I'm going to do a quick video for you on skimming this ceiling wearing the Worktools, and we'll talk through the pros and the cons. Enjoy. Alright guys, the Worktall height enhancing safety boot. So what we've got here is basically a couple of reinforced buckets that you literally velcro strap to your shoes. As you can see, they're shaped at the bottom, so they're lipped up at the front. So they're designed so you could almost walk normally in them. And the side is shaped, it kicks out almost like a bit like a hoof to stop you rolling your ankle. So they're pretty well built, pretty well designed. There's a lip on the back where your heel sits against. So once you've got your foot on there and you've strapped down your boots tight, they don't feel like they're going to come away. They don't become loose while you're working. So they feel pretty rigid once they're on. You soon get used to them. So within a few days of you messing around with them and having a practice, you almost forget you've got them on when you're doing ceilings and whatnot. Why we use them is I've mentioned about we're quite tall lads, so sometimes we used to use the stilts, and I started to develop a bad neck, and Matt just didn't get on with them at all, to be honest. I had a few tumbles as well, so I decided to scrap them off, mainly because all my work's domestic, so they're 8-foot ceilings and I'm just too tall. So I think they're brilliant, all the Dura stilts and everything. They're fantastic bits of kit if they suit you and you're the right height. But these do me. These work well. They're only a foot. They're only 12 inches, so you don't feel dangerously high when you're working on them, unlike stilts. And because they've got that wide coverage at the bottom and they're shaped out, they do feel very stable under your foot. What's good about these boots is because they're only a foot high and they're only attached to your shoe and not your leg, you can stretch right down almost to the base of the wall and trowel the entire wall floor to ceiling whilst wearing these boots. It is a bit of a workout doing this, but if you've got a big set on, it really does speed it along. The constant up down off the hop up or off a step, compared to just walking along and crouching, it does take the fatigue out of the job. And as I say, you can happily work in these for a few hours, and you can forget that light that you can forget you've got them on. So the downside to these boots is they are a little bit clumsy because of the shape and the size of them compared to, say, your Dura stilts, which are very streamlined, slim with a small foot. So I have had a tumble in these. I've been working in these for around 9 months, something like that. But I have had 1 or 2 tumbles, and it's mainly to do with this not clearing the floor properly, to be honest. I mean, you can see there I've got a lead trailing. which was a bit of a boo-boo on my behalf, because that should have been pushed tight into the skirting line. So things like that, you got to be real careful, just like with any stilts really. You've got to be real careful with them. Any slight, nick, or you leave your hammer on the floor or anything, only takes a little slight trip and you will take a tumble. But the good thing is, as I say, they're only a foot high, so if you do take a roll, make sure your trowels are obviously out the way. You're not going to suffer too much damage, unlike if you a few foot high with your stilts. So overall, a good bit of kit. I'll set you back about 50 quid for a pair of these. So for the money and what you get out of them, they're not going to break the bank. And it just means that if you're a plasterer that works off a hop up or steps every day, or even if you're planking out, so if you're chucking your beer crates down or whatever it is, hop ups and then planking out, these are going to save all that messing around, for the sake of 50 quid. And you can get a nice trowel up on your ceilings. You can cross trowel them properly without the constant up down, just like any other stilts. So I recommend them. Matt gets on with them. We've tried others, we didn't like them. Seem to get on with these. I have changed the straps once within the 9 months of owning them. A couple of the buckles came loose and developed a couple of cracks in them, so I think they were around tenner to replace. So there we have it. So pros, they're cheap, they're lightweight, they're strong, they're easy to take on and off your feet, ideal for domestics or site work like this, if you've got the 8-foot ceilings. And the cons, they are a bit clumsy, they look silly, let's face it. You look a bit of a plonker in them. Don't look quite as cool as the Jura stilts and the aluminium stilts that are on the market. However, like I say, they do get the job done, and they'll save you that constant hopping up, hopping down. So I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Thanks again for watching. See you on the next one.